feel like I'm the
Hello, everybody out there. You fine folks. I see you all. Well, I can't see you all. That would be creepy if I could see you. See you. That would be very freaky. Oh, someone's cat came to visit. Right when we went live, it's like they knew.
Awesome.
As I get older, I started realizing things that I used to do might come across a little bit creepy. And but I'm married, so I don't have to worry about it because my wife is used to, how weird I am. However, I did want to say something. There was a song a couple of years ago by Enrique Iglesias that "You Can't Escape My Love" song. That did not age well. That song did not. I mean, because he's like, you can't escape my love. You can't escape. It's like, oh. Then he walks in the bath. I had to look at the video. He follows her in the bathroom and makes out with her. It's like this video is all types of wrong. Like, I felt dirty watching it, like I was watching propaganda or something. Like, what happens next? It was weird. Anyway, I'm gonna hit the intro. That's my cold opening, and we will jump into tonight's show. Hang tight, everyone. Here we go.
And you, sir, are you waiting to receive my limp penis? Now, get your hands off there.
The following program contains violence, disturbing imagery, nudity, and, oh my God, why are you even watching this? Just run away. This shit is going to give you nightmares. For real. The program is rated TV MA NSFW OMFG GAF TTV BYGAS. Why are you still here? Seriously, don't watch this. We can't warn you strongly enough. Do you need a doctor of some kind? What is the matter with you?
The difference is near. It's a revolt. The masses will hear. It's evolved. Let the people hear. It's evolved. The boss starts here.
Hello.
Epic.
Yeah, the intro like sets you up for this is gonna be epic, and it's always just INDIE, man. It's those guys.
The comic book Brady Bunch.
Jeez, Erik.
Is
it new or something? I didn't expect that. I didn't know that there was going to be
something special.
Really epic intro.
We've been doing it for a while now, but it got longer recently because we added Erik to the credits, and the words, the credits for who did the words and the lyrics and the music. I want to add them in there.
You got to get people jazzed up and then let them down suddenly.
Mission accomplished. You did it.
Right. Hello, everybody out there. My name is Varian. I'm the founder of Pinball Media. Been making comics since 2008. I'm here with a great panel of guests tonight. Look at all these pretty faces. Look at them. They're here to tell you about their comics. The prettiest face that I have to live with, so I have to say that, is Indie Princess. Hello, ma'am. How are you this evening?
I'm all right. And I found my comic, guys. It is the second printing of Crow #2. Issue 2. Yeah.
Young.
There we go.
Awesome.
But yeah, I am the Indie Princess Lola, and I am the EIC over at indievault.com, and I am the creator and writer of Lore, which you can check out on Kickstarter right now. Cool.
Awesome. Hey, everyone. My name is Erik Hodson. I'm at Dreaded Dinosaur, creator Dreaded Dinosaur Man on Webtoons, and you can also read it on Tapas. And frequent contributor here, enough so that I get to be in the intro credits.
You've been here in the intro credits now. That's how you get. It's how you get stuck hosting game shows.
It's finally official. Now I can finally have a reason to buy that cheap tux down the street.
Dwayne, introduce yourself.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Dwayne Robinson Jr. I am the owner and creator of Animation Comics and Entertainment. Currently, I have an Indiegogo campaign, Nightfall, Michael's Awakening, issues 1 and 2.
Good man, good man. Good books, those. We'll talk about those a little bit later. Frank.
Hello, I'm Frank Martin. I write comics and I write novels. And my current book is called Grimspace. It's on Kickstarter, launched today, and I'm sure it's nowhere near as good as what everybody else is doing here. So,
Self-deprecating on the intro, we love it.
yeah, that's why I'm in the middle, because I keep it grounded.
Man, I got all these jokes. I can't say them. I don't have any. Oh, go ahead. Matt, your turn.
Hey everybody, my name is Matt Knowles. I am one half of the dynamic duo at Symmetry Creations. And if you guys behave yourself, or maybe if you don't behave yourself, you might get to meet at some point later on the other half of Symmetry Creations. We're basically normally known for our steampunk and medieval stuff and our death metal. But tonight we're going to talk about the thing we're doing, which is more in line with Wreck-It Ralph and the Fairly Odd Parents and Gravity Falls, which is Misfits Clubhouse, which is on Kickstarter right now, tinyurl.com/Misfits1. But we'll talk about that here in just a little bit. I'll let everybody else have a chance to talk about themselves, if that's okay with Varian.
That's fine with me. But we all know that in Symmetry Creations, the only person that knows what's really going on over there is Steph. How are you tonight?
I am doing well. Hi, guys. Matt tried to keep it very secretive, but it says so right in my name that I'm the other half of Team and Sim. So, spoiler alert. It's right there in front of your faces. I'm Steph Cannon. I am a comic writer, comic creator, other half of In Symmetry Creations, also a film reviewer and columnist for several different websites. And yeah, we have a Kickstarter going on right now. Matt just said Misfits Clubhouse, which we'll talk about later tonight.
Okay, and my friend Zak. Finally on the show. Finally got him in. Zak, how are you?
Hello, I'm well, thank you. Zak Anderson, writer for myself. I don't have an LLC. I published a comic book called Walls last year. I'll publish its sequel next year, and I will be on, hopefully, if Varian lets me at some point, to beg for money for that.
Yeah, you got a spot, just let me know. And Madeleine, hello.
Hi, my name is Madeleine Holly-Rosing. I am the writer-creator of the steampunk supernatural graphic novel and prose series, Boston Metaphysical Society. And we currently have a Kickstarter going on right now for our very first audio drama called The Ghost Ship.
So the Boston Metaphysical Society, that book, that name, I remember seeing it on the shelf. And I'm like, you know, some books you just looking like, yeah, that's a hit right there. That name just makes you want to pick it up, and I did. I got it.
Audio drama, you've already perked my ears. I absolutely love, old time radio, that type of radio show stuff. I love the people who are doing podcasts where they're putting together story shows. So can't wait to hear about it.
Yeah,
great.
Erik, so we're gonna open it with the first topic. Right off the bat. Rip the Band-Aid off.
Okay. We got some comments. You want to cover them real quick?
Oh, there are comments on me, yeah.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah, the chat has shown up tonight, so we need to first shout out to Demo Nation. He got to be first. If you're not first, you're last. First in chat. Congratulations. Jennifer coming in. Hi, Jennifer. Sarah complimenting the gorgeous panel.
It is nice looking panel.
Pop's in the house. He's watching. Thanks, Pop. Sarah loved our epic intro. We got in Symmetry Creations. Sup, everyone.
Hey.
Doing the double duty, making sure people know we're here, man.
Hey, that's great. Awesome. Trisha checking in. And Story Comics says evening all. Evening. And then the chat has just gone wild here. John W. Part-Time Comics up in the irons. Thank you, everybody, for participating in the chat. We really appreciate it.
And thanks, Pops, for putting those links in there too. I see he's put links from the description in there. We're gonna look at all those campaigns as well. And thank you, chat, for being here. We are live on Indie Vote Radio right now. If we're not, if you have Indie Vote Radio, like the app or anything, reset it. Reset your app. We should be live right now. So I don't have numbers, but I'll have those pretty soon as well. So yeah, Erik, I'm gonna rip the band-aid off and just go right for it, I believe, because it's the only way to do it. All right. And two, I get to make fun of everyone by doing this. There we go.
Stalling for time. Topic.
Mm-hmm.
So what about that comic book union?
I want to say something.
There is some hair stuck to this bandage.
Yeah. I want to say something about 4 or 5 months ago on special issues. I said we're about a year out from having one. Right.
Ding,
On my victory lap.
made.
Oh, my ticker tape parade. This is the third time I predicted something happening in comics like this. I'm a comic book futurist. I'm adding that to my Twitter.
So I haven't read any articles about this, but I'm curious. I have questions. How many employees does Image actually have?
Well, they're employees. I'm guessing they have very few because everyone else is a contract.
It doesn't seem like they would have a lot because it's not the creators; it's the actual people that work for Image itself. And is this? I'm sure this is across all brands of Image, right? It's not just Image proper. It's Skybound and Top Cow and
I assume it would be all of them.
Yeah. So what's the total number? I can't really imagine it's that many.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, because it would. I mean, out of the amount of employees they have between all those companies.
Do you have any of the language queued up, Varian?
No, but I can pull it up.
Because there's I believe it was the Section 9, and that's really what's been making headlines, where they basically say that they can set up a board of, I don't know, themselves and their friends, and they can basically axe any comic book that they say crosses a line. They put in the string of the alphabet of things you can be offended by. And to me, it's like, I thought we were done with the Comics Code Authority. That's exactly what it sounds like.
Yeah. Because I can't find the article, but I had actually. But the AV Club has an article up about it, and like you said, Erik, it's in the early days of organizing, so it's going to be difficult for them to tell us the concrete plans. But
so it wasn't just about like labor rights, like work hours and pay scale. You're talking about the actual content that they produce?
Exactly.
That's kind of strange.
Yeah, that doesn't seem like a union as much as a code of conduct.
Yeah, but it sounds like it is a little early in everything to really make a judgment call. Yeah, I haven't heard anything about this, the being able to decide what gets published and what doesn't. I can't imagine that will ever fly.
Yeah, I've also said, like, my other fear about a union is this: who gets to join? Because I find it kind of funny that a couple weeks ago they started a discussion of within indie comics having a pro-am division, like a distinction, pro and amateur. And exactly what point do you cross over from being an amateur to a pro? And then now this union talk. I wonder who gets to join. Is there dues? I don't know. I don't know if I could. All questions I asked a couple months ago, but I was laughed at. I was ridiculed. They laughed at me, Erik. They laughed at me. Now, I don't know. Like, would you guys be interested in joining a union, a comic book union?
I mean, I think there's a distinction between creators and employees of a publishing company. I wouldn't really consider myself joining a union because I'm making my own comics. If I'm part of a union, then I have to kind of go by whatever the union says. But if a publisher itself has a union, then people that have nothing to do with the actual creation of the books would hypothetically have to be part of that union if the whole company is involved in it, such as like the accountant or a marketing supervisor or a logistics distributor, or all those things that have nothing to do with the actual creation of the books would have to be on board with whatever the union wants to do.
The magic of the internet, I was given the language in the form here. I can put it on the screen, and Erik, you want to read that?
So this is the Title IX. This is what I saw flying around the internet, mostly. Renewed commitment to company values through the addition of a collective voting option to immediately cancel publication of any title whose creators have been found to have engaged in abuse, sexual assault, racism, xenophobia, homophobia, transphobia, anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, ableism, etc., until such time as said creators have engaged in meaningful reparations toward affected persons. Now, obviously, if you're coming at it from a hateful point of view, yeah, there's things that you want to control here, but who gets to decide what is what are the definitions? And when you're doing a legal contract, you need to have definitions about what these words mean in the contract, so it's not this amorphous, well, Bob's feelings were hurt, so we're going to cancel your book.
Well, it's a collective vote, so the definition is collective. Who's voting?
Yeah, they have a board. Probably going to be. I mean, I would imagine that board will be voted on too. They have to be elected. It's all a big mess. But listen, I've worked in
Democracy's complicated.
I've worked in the auto department. Freaking unions can be tough because there's union dues, and every month when I opened my check, I felt sad. Every week actually, when I opened my check, I felt really sad about
I think as creators, we've all been around Twitter. We have seen how many publishers and comic creators have been canceled and how easily they've been canceled, and all it takes is one creator to do something bad one time for that publisher to be canceled by everybody. It doesn't take much for people to say, if this publisher is going to keep this creator and their title, then I'm not going to buy any of their stuff. So this is a CYA thing for Image to say, hey, look, we had it written down. This is not, you can't come back and point the finger of blame to us if we decide to axe a creator or not axe a creator. I think that they are jumping ahead of the game, because I can name probably 4 or 5 publishers who were doing very well about a year or so ago who aren't anymore because of acts of certain creators or themselves. So I think that they are jumping ahead of the game here a little bit and finding ways to protect themselves.
So this comes from a graphic policy website. They've got more of the language here, and I want to make sure that we give this a complete fair shot as far as the language. And it's basically this announcement of this union, I guess, is in a series of tweets. Comic Book Workers United, so anybody can look them up. Represented by the Communication Workers of America. So that's a legitimate union, Communication Workers of America. So let's take a look here. Our workforce and the comic book and publishing industry as a whole is overtaxed and undervalued. It is detrimental not only to general staff, but also to the creators we are paid to serve and the audiences they in turn work to entertain. Our labor is integral to the comic book industry. It requires specialized skills, dedication, and makes quality publishing possible. We love what we do, but loving what you do doesn't mean you can't or shouldn't ask for improvements to your working conditions. It is with this in mind, and with great hope for the future of Image Comics and the comic book industry itself, that we announce our intent to form a union and request voluntary recognition. This should not be radical or revolutionary, and is, in fact, a natural development for a company that started the way Image Comics did. In the earlier stages of organizing, we looked to Image's founders for inspiration their dreams of self-determination and more equitable treatment in the industry they loved, and help make successful our dreams also. We're honored to grow their legacy by taking this step to give all comic book industry professionals, regardless of title, the same rights, guarantees, security, and protections which the founders sought when they broke away from the big two to start their own company. In fact, several months ago in our organizing efforts, Jim Valentino made a comment on social media celebrating union accomplishments. That was the moment we knew this could work. Despite years of union busting and anti-organization sentiments in the American workforce, we know that Image has at its heart a desire to be first when it comes to doing the right thing for comics workers. That's why we know we will win, because of our success is the company's success. Our success is the creative success. That's a summary, I guess, of all the tweets. And here's the other goals. The goals of the organization effort are to improve salaries throughout the industry through salary and workload transparency, annual staff and management reviews, monthly all-hands meetings to understand company priorities, responsibilities, workloads, detailed record keeping and documentation for all essential tasks to improve knowledge retention, improve career mobility, that's an interesting one, remote work for all employees who requested, and accommodations and supplies for remote employees, hiring of more production and marketing to improve the overall product, increased diversity in staff and management, and a collective voting option, which we read earlier, with the board to vote out anybody and get rid of any creators that they've deemed have gone across this.
That the creators have deemed. That the other creators.
This doesn't sound like it has anything to do with the creators, though. It's like
No,
they want to
creators,
judge.
yeah,
Creators are getting judged by this union.
Isn't the union a union of creators?
It doesn't sound like it.
No. It's just people that work for Image, like editors, proofreaders,
pre-press,
graphic designers, people within, internally within the Image.
Yeah,
I think specifically not creators.
No.
creators don't really work for Image. They're all creator-owned titles, so they're kind of in publishing contracts. They're technically, I don't know if you would consider them freelance, but they're in publishing partnership agreements, so they're not Image employees technically.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. I am not very well versed in comic book industry, and maybe some of our audience isn't either, and they learn.
Basically, what they're saying is, if I have a book and I bring it to Image, and they say, "Oh, it's a great book, we want to put it out there," and then I decide to go on Twitter and say a bunch of racist things, then that union can take a vote and say, Frank is a racist, we don't want his book at Image anymore. And if they come up with the votes, then basically the people that work for Image can cancel my book rather than the people who are in charge are supposed to be making decisions. So
I think that, I mean, we're going to be discussing that for a long time, months to come, as it develops. And, sometimes with those contracts, they got to swing for the fences and see what they can get, when they try to do stuff that way. So we'll see how this pans out. The next question is a little bit closer to home, Erik. The next topic, which was, does the concept of cons need to evolve for indies? And I got to thinking about that. And someone laughed. Who's down there snickering? Is that
me? Me. Yeah, I have a lot to say.
Well, let's hear it. What do you think?
I've been going to a couple of cons because I was told that is what I need to do to sell comic books. This is not the right venue for me. People who go to cons are looking for a placid sense of the familiar, repackaged for them in some unfamiliar way. Can you, independent artist, draw me a picture of Batman, a syndicated image that has been reproduced thousands of times, because that is what I came looking for, because that is what I've seen. As an independent creator, I do not have any Batman. I have nothing that anybody's really seen before. Nobody comes to a con looking for me, or indeed interested in anything that I do. But there's really no other place for me, unless we are able to create a space that is right for that type of self-advertising.
Yeah, I think that well, let someone else go. I'm always talking. Go ahead.
I'm not a con guy. I don't really like conventions too much, and I typically agree. I've done a bunch of them, and creators know the conventions that are indie friendly. Let's call them places where people are more prone to read actual comics than, let's say, be involved in the gaming side of the convention or cosplay or whatever. But conventions are always tough because, like you said, people aren't there to see your indie comic. They're there to see Batman. And by the time they pay for parking, pay to get in the show, buy a waffle cone, buy a Batman book, how much cash do they really have left over to buy some unknown book that they've never heard of before? It's just, it's a tough deal any way you look at it.
The one thing I would say, though, one thing I would say is that you need to take a good list, a good inventory of what shows actually cater to which crowd. Steph and I, especially with me being in Florida, did a ton of shows even through COVID. The first con back in the country, even after COVID hit, was actually in Jacksonville. Collective Con Jacksonville set the standard for social distancing, masks, and hand sanitizing, all that kind of stuff. But take a look at what shows are out there, like was said earlier, and make sure you're going to the show that's going to be right for you. We have some promoters in Florida that are designed for comic book creators. They don't want fan art and the drawings of Batman and the copyright infringement. They want to put something together and people know, hey, this is where I go to get my collectibles. There are others that are out there for people to go and show off their cosplay, their pop culture events. And if you are an indie creator that thinks you're going to go make it big by going into the biggest pop culture event with an unknown title, that may not be good positioning of what your brand is. So I think that you really need to look at the shows that are there and try to angle yourself into those shows while you're trying to make your name, rather than just throwing yourself at the biggest con that's out there, because it may just not be a show that is designed for you.
Yeah, I do a lot of cons. I've been doing cons for the past 7 years. I used to do about 20 cons per year, about a couple years before the pandemic. I've done 6 so far this year. And yes, the type of show does matter. But it also depends on your selling skills. You have to know how to sell at your table. You have to know how to engage a potential customer. And no, not everyone's going to like your stuff, but pretty much the people who wander through Artist Alley or small press are the ones who are looking for independent and something different. The rest of the folks are upstairs at the gaming or the big cons. And yeah, it's a combination of finding the appropriate con for you and also bringing up your sales skills.
Ding, ding.
Yeah. Another thing I would say though too is also, ask other creators before you go, that's in your local area that you might know. Contacting people to find out what they think about it. People that have more experience than you, basically, because that's kind of what I did with my first convention. I've been going to conventions since 2017. And my first one was kind of like a pop culture one, but I still kind of overall did pretty good because I was asking around and seeing what other creators had there and, to see what kind of space I was in. And I was really nervous, but a lot of the people there, they made it really easy for me to really kind of just feel welcomed. And so I really just focused on really the sales and talking to people. I think, like she said, being easy to have a sales pitch or, just really being interactive to the people. It's always good to stand up and, interact with them, say hello before they even come to your table, get their attention, not just by what you have at the table, but, trying to show that you have energy. People like that, they feed from that.
Yeah, saying that you love somebody's cosplay, or you know what character you engage them and talk to them about their character, and inevitably they'll say like, oh hey, well what do you got here, what's your deal, and you tell them. They may or not be, it may not be their thing, but you don't know them unless you talk to them. And
so your answer to these
right.
questions, to this question on the screen, is the concept of cons does not need to evolve. I'm just not very personable myself.
I would say, I'm sorry, were you gonna say something?
No, it's not. I've never seen you sell, so I can't say one way or the other.
I'm
But
getting a lot of advice about it. I assume that would be the case.
You know, and know your strengths, because
yeah,
for me, I've been doing this for a number of years. I actually started out doing conventions as an independent comic book creator, moved into fan art after a time because I started paying the bills, and now I'm kind of swinging back and trying to get away from the fan art and bringing my IP back. But I have seen thousands of artist alleys over the time period, seen lots of different approaches. And if you're not somebody who's comfortable talking to people, bring somebody along who is. In the olden days, this might have been something like a booth babe, but just somebody who you recognize has the communication skills while you're trying to learn to do this on your own. And, you know, I'm not saying go out of your comfort zone, but at some point in time, you might need to do that. But if you know you don't have the communication skills, don't expect to make any money, but find a way to address that. Maybe you need to do a video presentation, have that at your table, something to get a hook to get people. When I'm running a table, I will often have, like if I'm in an anime show, I'll have anime music playing, as long as the show permits that. And you'll finally get people will come in like, hey, I know this. What's this from? That's a conversation starter. Once you start a conversation with somebody, get them talking about themselves, they'll walk away thinking they had a great conversation, and you will maybe not made a customer, but maybe you've made a new follower, and that person turns into a customer later. You know, there's more to it than just the hard sell. That's kind of the thing you want to avoid. You want to go in with the soft sell, have a conversation, like she mentioned, talk about their cosplay. You know, notice their shirt. Notice the person, how they're doing. If they have a sad look on their face, hey, how you doing? You know, and be genuine about it. And you never know, you might walk away with some sales.
Yeah,
to be clear, I spent a decade as a waiter before this, and I'm very good at talking to people, and I'm very well spoken.
Mm-hmm.
So, I just thought we were talking about the concept of cons needing to evolve for the indies, and I just want to go back to that again. It sounds like no, it does not need to evolve.
No, I was gonna
indie people need to evolve for cons.
Yeah, I mean, I know there's no Alternative Press Expo anymore, and I sure wish there was. I mean, that was a great show back in the day, because that was all indies, and it was terrific. If someone could do that thing again, that would be great, but I'm not sure they could make any money off of it. So we have to work within the parameters we're given and find the shows that work for us.
The thing I was gonna say was my kind of gripe sometimes is the cosplayers, because sometimes the cosplayers, when there's nothing to do, I guess I don't really follow what they do when they go to the conventions, but a lot of times, you know, they'll just be kind of in front of your table or taking pictures, and then they're kind of like impeding your progress on making a sale or even talking to people that's inside the show or the convention. So I mean, I don't know if there's any way to like monetize that or any way, but that sometimes can be a really big problem. I remember one time I went to a convention and these cosplayers were like throwing a frisbee in front of this guy's table. I had to get up and ask them to like, could y'all like go somewhere else to throw the frisbee? They're like literally throwing it in front of this guy's table. And, you know, like he thanked me or whatever, but like sometimes people don't want to speak up because, you know, everybody's trying to be friendly, but at the same time, it's still a business. And, you know, when they're doing things like that, that's just like completely unnecessary.
You know,
I agree.
When people was playing music really, really loud, and it had nothing to do with the convention. It was just, you know, some heavy metal. I'm a metal guy. I love metal music to the day I die, you know, rock on. But again, you know, when you're doing it next to someone's table, that's when, you know, these things need to be like, and I say it because it happened more than once. It's not just like a one-time occurrence, you know, it's happened more than once. And I had to get up and just like be the bad guy. And then I feel bad because I'm like telling these people, you know, these things that I feel like it's not my job to really do. But at the same time, you know, it's impeding my progress and trying to make some sales. And So I would say that that's like kind of a problem. But I think there also should be like someone else said, there should be more conventions that are specifically made for indie creators. I really don't see that. I mean, I've seen like ones that are more catered to like a certain genre, maybe like a horror convention or you know, things like that. But something that's, you know, mainly for indie creators, that would be really cool.
There's a space in Columbus, Ohio, which is IndieCon.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's nice.
We go there. Yeah, it's a good show. I like that. It's all indie comics though. Like if you're going there with Prince, you're gonna have a bad show.
Mhm.
The people that come to that show, they're coming for indie comics.
Nice.
But you know, I guess like I know a lot of promoters who do really well by indie creators. They understand the situation, the pricing, and whatnot. I've seen some really weird ideas that get people to come through Artist Alley. I remember some friends of mine floated the idea of a like a type of, it was weird. It was this is like in 2006, so before Bitcoin, but a type of like Artist Alley currency that the person could buy, just to get people to come to Artist Alley to buy books, and that didn't work. But I remember that just people trying to figure out ways to get fans, you know, from the front door past the celebrities down there buying books. You know, Mark Hodges over at Grandpa's Comic Con does really is the right by indie guys. And Bob Corby. There's a lot of different promoters who I think care. Bring your concerns to your promoter too, and let them know, hey, you know, you're pushing us artists to this little back corner over here. We can't. By the time people make it over here, they've already spent all their money. Don't even know we're over here. Yeah. Also, though, one thing they could do, personal graphic mine. I'd like a nice cushion floor pad.
That was the good old days of shows, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, you remember when Wizard was really good and it had a nice red carpet and MegaCon and those were definitely the good old days.
Yeah, now you get a hard convention floor stand here. Yeah. So that's it for that. Did anyone else want to weigh in on that?
Yeah, I've tried to jump in.
I'm sorry.
I'm not sure how creators make money if they don't do shows, to be honest. Aside from Kickstarters, because if we didn't do Kickstarters and shows, we would not make money doing what we do. So you kind of have to do shows if you want to get ahead in the business at least a little bit. And like others have said, everybody kind of already touched on the points that I agreed with. It's not that cons need to evolve for indies need to evolve for cons. If there's a show that you do that you felt wasn't a great fit or wasn't run well, then don't do it again and do another show, because for every bad show there's probably 5 good ones. In Matt and I's experience, we've done more good shows than bad. I think that the bad shows that we have said we'll never do those again, the list is pretty small because we make the most of it. You know, we have done shows where the AC has broken and it's been 98 degrees in there, and we've sucked it up and you know, we could have said, oh, screw this, we're going to go home, but we're not going to make money that way. So we made money. We sold still in spite of being uncomfortable, because that's what you have to do. You have to step out of your comfort zone. You can, you know, you can sit and write, but nobody's going to get to enjoy your stuff if you don't go out there and sell it. So you have to kind of put yourself out there a little bit. No one's going to come up to your table if you're looking at your phone, looking bored. And you don't necessarily have to be a carnival barker either, because people don't like that. They don't want to be barked at. Just be nice. Just be nice. It's easy.
Yeah, you know, don't flag them down.
Oh, Toric Hill. There you go. I agree. Who is she? She's the other half of Ben Sim. One of the things to tag on to what Steph said too about I'm really glad she said that about, you know, indies evolving. When the pandemic hit, we ended up doing more in-store signings than we could have ever imagined. And we probably did better at some of these in-store signings. And I would say to creators, if you are uncomfortable being in this big arena where you're having to go and compete against 50 other indies, talk to your local comic book store, see if you can get yourself and a couple other local creators in there. And a lot of times those stores are going to love it because there's going to be an event that's going to draw people in the door. If it's a great store, you can end up making some serious bank by doing that. And it will diversify the things you do. If all you're going to do is be like, I've got to hit every single con that's within a mile radius this year, you're going to probably see the same people at every one of those cons.
Yeah.
Try to make sure that you're doing some smaller events that are going to be more focused on you, and diversify, see what things work. There may be some comic book stores that are great. There may be some comic book stores that aren't very good as far as bringing in people, and just, do them once and then decide if you're going to do them the next time. Evolve so that way you're making the most of what you're actually offering.
I like what Joe said here. He says creators need to evolve for any venue that may come. You need to be able and flexible to pitch and increase audience anywhere. And he's right. Maybe sometimes we have to evolve more so to the con. Than
a lot of times you have to. I look at where my table is placed because I have no control of that. Mm-hmm. If I'm stuck in the middle of an aisle, if there's a column in front of me, how am I going to deal with that? What's the flow of traffic? What's kind of the feeling of the show? And sometimes you even have to evolve your pitch depending on the show. Mm-hmm. So it's a constantly fluid situation and changes from show to show.
Mal, you said, there's a poll, you can't control that. I like that because no one told Indie Princess that. And so if she does not like where we're sitting, somebody is going to hear about it. But I realize something. If I don't like where I'm at, they're like, deal with it. If she doesn't like where we're at, all of a sudden they begin moving stuff. It's like, I don't know if she goes over there and I don't know what she's doing, but she comes back stomping and she's getting her way. Trying to spoil other people.
Yeah, it also depends if they've got extra tables to move you, and sometimes that happens. They do have extra tables. Someone hasn't shown up, and you can just. That's what happened at Rose City this year. 2 tables next to me, they didn't show up, and you don't want that empty space in your aisle because as an attendee walks down, out of the corner of the eye, they just see the blank space. So it doesn't make any sense, but they think no one's down there, even though we're all down there, and they won't go down that aisle. So you want to fill up that space. I've been at WonderCon where we've actually put up an empty table, a dummy table where we all put marketing material and an old, coffee cup and a little runner. So it looked like somebody was there just to fill up the space.
That's hilarious. I love it.
It worked. It worked. People picked up the material. They turned around like, oh, this is you. And then they came across. So, you got to be creative. You work with your neighbors. You work with your aisle so that you all benefit.
We had a guy that did that at a GalaxyCon Raleigh this year where they packed up early on Sunday and left the whole big aisle open. And we took all of our shirts that we had on our table that we had to have stuffed behind the table, and we made the entire table just our shirts. Ended up getting people that became customers of ours on our books that weren't on that table. Was like, oh, dude, this is cool. Where'd this come from? Is this you guys? We're like, yep. And you got to do what you got to do to be able to fill that space. Completely agree.
Most show promoters aren't going to. Yeah, most show promoters aren't going to mind, especially if you are cool with them and build a rapport with them. They don't want empty tables either because that's not good for their show. So they're in the business of selling too. So it's all about everybody working together.
Wise words told to me by the great sage Terry Huddleston. It's easier to say I'm sorry than please. Terry, for those who don't know, he's especially in his early days, militant about making sure he had a good spot. He would move tables. He would go get a more comfortable chair, just do whatever needed to be done.
I just sit where they tell me to go now. Erik, here's the last question of this is the question. More like a statement.
Not a topic, a question.
Yeah, more like a statement. There's just no definition between the two. And here it is. I believe this is it, right? There we go.
All right. Rustin writes in. I was at a convention a few weeks ago when I saw a guy at a table selling comic book wood. Okay. Just lumber he'd Mod Podged with various comic panels. It sickened me as he was in my aisle and not a crafting area where he belonged. And also that here's a prime example of someone trying to take advantage of an industry, and of course he's got an indie comic idea. Rustin. Thanks for writing in, Rustin. We appreciate it.
And that's what started my discussion this morning. This email with Lola about culture vultures, people who they don't maybe have the talent to create anything. So what they do is they figure, okay, well, how can I make money off of people who are making money? What service can I trick them into believing they need? Whether that's, oh, well, you better get printing insurance. There's all types of things that, people are trying to figure out how to make money off of creators.
Sure.
And just out of an industry that's hotter. I remember I'm lucky in that I know a lot of store owners, comic shop owners, sports card store owners, and my father got me into like comic books very early on. So I would go by and see some of these guys, and I was like, hey, I made a joke once after not being in the store for about 4 years. I came in and I joked with the owner about retiring. I said, shouldn't you be able to retire all those Jordan rookie cards you got? And he told me that those damn things are worthless. And not so much a Jordan rookie card, but David Robinson book rookie cards and stuff. Because he says at one point they were printing them all the time, 24/7. Those places were open, printing that content. And they took advantage of an industry that was hot. They pumped it full of content that now was worthless. And then they cut and ran when things got bad, when things got lean. Okay, we've already used you guys up. We got all your money. I worry about that. I did email this guy back that comic book wood. We're not talking about shapes, folks. We're not talking about like someone Mod Podging like a little chest or something, little keepsake. No, this guy was actually just Mod Podging wood. Like
it's just like 2x4.
Yeah, 2x4s, yeah.
With
wrapped in comic book panels.
I give credit where credit's due for creativity on that one. I mean, when I was in West Virginia, there was a gentleman that I met who was doing intricate wood engravings. In a show like that, it's so small. I don't mind that person is not in a special crafters section because there really wasn't a crafters section. There really wasn't an artist alley either because it's a small show. They're just all the same booths. But in the larger shows, when they're going to have a dedicated crafters alley, they really need to do a good job of making sure that they're actually populating the crafters alley with crafters and the artist alley with artists and indie comic professionals. That's my only critique on this.
Well, I think it has to come down to, like you said, the con promoter. I mean,
Yeah.
It's not that guy's fault that he's in that area if they decided to give him a table there. I mean, we've done some shows. We were in an artist alley where we had unicorn. What do we have? So we had unicorn people on one side, and we had people doing completely bogus. Absolutely, there was no way to get around it. Copyright infringement art on the opposite side of us, and we're like, how are we supposed to compete in here when we aren't even anywhere near where we should be? That goes on the con promoter for not vetting out the organization of their arena. I would think more so than the guy who's putting the comic panels on top of the wood. Don't you think?
Yeah, and it's annoying, but you're not going to go to any con where you're not going to see somebody doing something like this, and it's just kind of part of the deal. You can let it get to you and bug you, or you can just say they're doing their thing and I'm doing mine, and I'm going to sell my stuff. And like Matt mentioned, we have been at a lot of shows where there's been a lot of people doing copyright stuff, but at the end of the day, is that anything that is going to affect our sales? And if it does, is that anybody's fault but ours? Because we're selling comic books and he's selling wood. There's no competition there. It's two different things. And you have to know that cons, that's just part of the deal. It's just part of the thing with cons. I don't think that there's anything that anybody does where there's not going to be that one thing that's a little bit annoying, and you just have to kind of just know that it's there. But yeah, there have been cons that we've done where we've been in Crafters Alley around crafters, but you know, they're cool people too, and sometimes you get somebody wandering down that aisle is like, oh, comic books, cool, you know. And
You know, it would be cool to maybe if you could somehow take the panels from the comic and burn it on the wood. That would be kind of cool. So it looks like, you know, like, because I mean, look, he's just giving me the comic before it becomes paper again, right?
That's what I thought you were talking about. No, you're talking about he just took paper and just wrapped it around.
And Mod Podged it on, so it's stuck there now. And
that sounds like something like
Never seen that one before. But
what do you do with it?
That's a wrestling wheel guy would use. Like he'll come out to the ring with a 2x4 wrapped in comic panels and just start hitting people with it.
Yeah.
That's
about it.
It's a wrestling weapon. That's all it's for. Right? It's a wrestling weapon. Okay. He was selling wrestling. I'll buy one.
Yeah. Anybody else want to say anything about that before I go into the last thing that happened this week? Which was anybody else?
No.
Okay. So Lola had a situation, and it was very funny. Lola always gets into drama right before Comic-Con. It's like if the Comic-Con is going on Thursday, there's gonna be some BS on Tuesday or Wednesday. Well, check this out. So Lola, you know, everyone knows Lola's after 11 years of being a publisher, she finally decided to create a comic. And she does a comic, it's an adult comic. She launches it on Indiegogo first. She funds. She's like, hey, maybe I should go try it on Kickstarter because I know people over there. They're a different audience. Maybe I'll go over there. And she went over to Kickstarter. Now she's since funded on Kickstarter. But she noticed there was a person that was kind of constantly going in and changing their tier.
Their pledge.
They back out, they come back in, lower it. Okay? And you got to understand at this point, Lola's very, when it comes to her campaign, she's very curious about what's being, what a person makes of it. So she's like, oh, maybe this person is confused because my tiers aren't clear. So Lola reaches out to the person through Facebook. Hey, you know, is everything okay? And the person tells her, I believe, Lola, did he tell you it was okay? Everything was fine. He just was just changing his campaign because he had some money issues. No problem for Lola. No problem. Well, Lola said, hey, well, since I'm running my campaign and you said you're trying to do shows, I'd like to be a guest on your show. And they say, oh, okay, yeah, that'll work. Oh, 3 days later, they send Lola a message. Stuffy now. They're upset, they say. I forget how it went, but basically, it boiled down to this. I had time to review our conversation, and I don't like the fact that you didn't show me any appreciation when I told you what my monetary problem was. You just gave me a thumbs up and okay. You know, also, I didn't have to tell you that. Also, you broke Kickstarter's rules by contacting me. You're not supposed to do that. And if I hear that you talk to anybody about what I'm doing, I'm going to, what I said to you, I'm going to use my very extensive contacts in the industry to take action against you. And I read this, and she's like, what is this nutball's problem? And I read this, and I'm like, oh, man. Well, this person is oddly enough, is doing something very close to comic book wood. Say again? Does that mean? He's doing something very close to comic book wood. It's like it's a person who wants to be in the industry very badly, doesn't have any real creativity, or doesn't have, maybe even they do have the creativity, they just don't have they won't take that leap that they have to get in. So it's gonna make life miserable for every other creator. Don't be that person, folks. I say it all the time on this show. Leave this industry a better place than you found it. You know, every day if you possibly can. Do something. We don't need assholes like this guy threatening women because he doesn't, you know. I mean, days later after the conversation, I don't think she broke any rules other than trying to be to provide customer service, which people aren't used to now. That's what's happened. Because Lord knows when I call Comcast, I don't get it anymore. Comcast, GoDaddy. There's no customer service anymore. Erik, what do you do when someone keeps changing their pledge on your campaign? Do you get worried about it? Do you contact them? I want to know from the whole panel.
Well, for me, it's like people are going to do what they're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't let it bother me. If it's suspicious behavior, like they're trying to angle for something, you can always report it to Indiegogo, Kickstarter. Maybe there's some suspicious activity with this pledge person. Who knows? But on the end scale of it, there's really nothing that you can do about it. I give you props for reaching out to the person, but I would advise against it because you never know. It could be a screwball.
Yeah, and I think this person is. Anyone else?
Well, I would say, and Madeleine, you've done a lot of Kickstarters. Aren't we supposed to go into there and message them and be like, hey, thanks for backing, we can't wait? There is a lot of contact. I think that the contact probably, what they don't want is you harassing someone if they drop their pledge or something like that. But asking somebody, hey, is there something we can do? Or do we need to put another tier in there? That's part of the relationship with the Kickstarter backers. Yeah. And I haven't ever heard of that you're not supposed to do that. I mean, Madeleine, Steph, what do you think?
Yeah, you can contact your backers within Kickstarter. Obviously, as long as you're not harassing them or doing something illegal. Mm-hmm. I send every single one of my backers a personal thank you note after they've backed, after they put their pledge. Mm-hmm. If they pull out, they decrease, I don't worry about it. I don't contact them. I don't know what's going on in their lives, and it's not my business. And so if they have a question about a tier or something, I'm happy to talk to them about it. Any questions at all, I will happily talk to them about it. But unless I see something suspicious going on, I wouldn't necessarily contact them. I would contact Kickstarter just to keep an eye on it. Yeah. Because they do years ago, and they still have them. They had, they call them kick trolls. Once upon a time, you still run across them, people who will have multiple accounts and will put in a large amount of money and then gradually over time reduce it until it goes to nothing. You don't see that quite so much anymore because Kickstarter does try to weed them out. But yeah, if someone's dropped a pledge, like I said, or they decrease it, I don't know what's going on in their lives. It could be that hey, I've actually had some people say, hey, I decreased my pledge here because I saw something else I wanted to get on somebody else's Kickstarter. I was like, okay, great. Spread the love. Yeah. That's wonderful. But yeah, I don't question what's going on in other people's lives.
Unlike me, I'm always, he's probably broke. He's probably a crackhead. No, I just thought it was weird. And then she felt bad. Lola felt bad. Well, what did I do? I was just trying to figure out.
She didn't do anything wrong.
Oddly enough, I was going to roast the guy. And then I contacted some people that he claimed that he was very close to. I'm like, hey, look, if this is one of your friends, I'll let it go. And they all laugh like, him? No, he's broke. What he's horrible. He's he's always begging for free stuff. Oh, they gave me the rundown. So I'm like, I'm not even bothered with this guy, and she shouldn't either. But just it goes to show you.
I'm not worried about it. I'm funded, and I'm $18 away from unlocking the next stretch goal. I've already unlocked 2. I'm on my third one now.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
That's great.
With an adult book, I didn't think was possible. I was like, you're gonna suffer because you got an adult book. But she did well. It is time to look at some books besides Lola's. And we're going to start. Oops, where am I? Sorry. I have a list of all my campaigns here tonight because I'm on the ball. Right here. I'm on the ball tonight. Here we go. I'm going to bring up the first campaign. And here it is. It is Grim Space by Frank Martin. Let's take a look at the video, shall we?
Martin, writer and creator of Grim Space. Personally, I'm a big fan of new page variations of the story. That's exactly what this is. Reimagine the classic fairy tales we're all familiar with, exciting new sci-fi. The first issue of Grim Space puts a spin on Jack and the Beanstalk. As Jack, a mechanic on a courier ship, trades his broken robot for a mysterious navigation unit. But the crew gets more than they bargained for when the nav unit activates on its own and gets them in trouble by gigantic proportions. This is a good time to check out our content. I had a lot of fun with this book because I'm excited for the first issue of this year. To grab this mashup of the old and new, click the Back This Project button at the top of the page or select a rewards here of your choice. Thanks again for checking out Grim Space, and I hope you enjoyed it.
You are approaching your goal. Your goal is $3,210. 2,126 what you got now.
Is it just me, or does everybody hate watching themselves?
Oh, it's not you. It's not just you.
I hate watching myself. Yes.
It's very cringy. But yeah,
I got to keep putting my hand up because my video's in the corner here.
Yeah.
So if I look at any the screen, I got to put my hand up on my computer.
I came up with the very sophisticated funding goal of 3210. I was kind of blast off. But yeah, Grim Space is a concept that a lot of people seem to love. It's which is not that complicated. It's just fairy tales in space, but it's just simple enough for people to really dig it. And hopefully that this is the first in a kind of a whole series that I'm going to be launching following these characters and interconnected stories and all that cool stuff.
Oh, you're going to interconnect different recycled tales done in space?
Yeah, so this one tale is a one-shot. It focuses on Jack and the Beanstalk, but I very purposely included other characters from other tales that will be follow-ups for like Rumpelstiltskin or Pinocchio or the Big Bad Wolf. So I definitely have other stuff in store down the line, depending on how this one book is received.
I like the grayscale coloring going here.
Yeah, I wanted to do it in color, but Dan Scalisi was my artist. We worked on a whole bunch of different shorts. This is our first full-length book together. He said I really dig the grayscale. So I said, all right, let's just go with it. We might color it in the future and do a re-release, but for now, I think it looks phenomenal. And little trick, it's cheaper to print a black and white book, so I never argue with an artist who wants it to.
Yeah, I was about to say, Frank, I agree, especially with your wallet's decision on that. But it also looks really good.
It does. Yeah, I love his he has a weird way of making even grayscale look phenomenal in space. So there's a couple panels that are in the book that I really dig.
So now this I was looking at your tiers here. You've estimated delivery is January 2022, so just 3 months from now, basically. Let me look here. Digital Deluxe.
The book is done, so it's basically the amount of time it takes to be printed, shipped to me, and then shipped out.
And you can get number 1, the digital, the standard cover, and free U.S. shipping right now, folks. Free U.S. shipping, but he is willing to ship anywhere in the world. Now, our Indie Vote audience right now, speaking of which, Indie Vote Radio audience, thank you guys. Right now, we're up to 72,104. 72,104. 105 now, thank you. Just jumped up. So thank you guys. I appreciate you listening in. It's worldwide, top country right now. Appreciate it. Mexico.
The weird thing about being in the U.S. right now is that for some reason, shipping to Australia and New Zealand is astronomical. I don't really know why, but yeah, it's very expensive. So I set it at like $40 extra for shipping to Australia, but I think if you had like a single floppy comic and you brought it to the post office, it's going to probably be more than $60 to ship it to New Zealand or Australia, which is kind of crazy. International shipping is just expensive to begin with. I wish it wasn't that way,
but I never want to say no that I'm not going to ship it somewhere. So I always try to include it and say, look, if you want to pay for it, God bless you.
Frank, I just backed you. It'll be under my Queen of Mercia account because I have 2 different accounts. And afterwards, you and I should have a discussion about postage because I will be able to help you.
I would definitely love it. I keep looking for like print on demand services that are in like the European Union that might be able to help me out, but because I feel bad, I have international backers that back every single one of my campaigns, and this is my 5th one this year. So it's like they spend 80% of the money that goes to me goes straight to postage. So it's kind of crazy, and I feel bad for them, but they keep coming back. So I appreciate them. Yep. This is one of the things that I'm looking forward to for this book is that I have a dual connecting cover, except instead of them connecting side to side, they're connected vertically.
Yeah, that's cool. That's a pretty cool concept.
Yeah, I haven't. This campaign is just for the bottom half, and the top half is going to be. I'm going to make it available at a later date. So it's kind of like I wanted to have a little air of mystery as to what it looks like. Well, you can kind of see what it looks like a little bit.
That's cool. I like the look of this book. I mean, it's it looks really cool. The artwork is nice. That your artist is doing a really good job. There's some digital art commissions too.
Yeah, that's for my partner in crime, Dan Scalisi. This is actually kind of the first book that I felt comfortable selling to all ages. I've put out a bunch of books, but I feel weird at cons when a family walks by and all they have is like 2 4-year-olds. And I'm kind of like, I'm sorry, I don't really have anything for you. So Frank, look more alive. I'm pumping your campaign up. I on my show tonight. Oh, thanks, Tyler. Yeah, get out there, and I'll cut you a check later.
I keep running into Tyler's one of Tyler's books, and every time I forget the name, but it's I didn't realize it was it's for Rocket Inc. as well. So it's kind of like watching Tyler just move around, orbiting me. We'll have to meet one day.
Glad you showed up, Tyler.
Yeah, I think he just brought his live shows back. So he has a love-hate relationship with doing live shows, and I don't blame him. But
I was ribbing him on Twitter because he's going up against Indie Vault. I'm like, oh yeah, you. I was like, gonna miss you in the chat, and he's like, I'm gonna show up anyway. I told him not to tease me.
I remember downloading some of Tyler's podcasts before I knew him, and so that was weird. That was weird. And then later on, actually having him come in the chat, and I'm like, oh, I know that guy. He's a bit of a celebrity. now I'm a celebrity. No, I'm just kidding. I don't get treated like it at all. Came back from a con this weekend. Had a really good time. By the way, I want to thank folks up at C4 for having us. Had a really good time at the show. Lots of stuff people to get in here on Kickstarter. You guys can head over there now. Now you don't have a lot of time, but you can get some of Frank. They can these are your novels, your prose novels.
Yeah, two of those are my novels. I try to keep all my add-ons genre related, maybe. So I have 2 sci-fi novels, and then Modern Godhood is a fantasy anthology. And then the other book is the Tales of Neverland anthology that just funded this year, which I have a story in, which Dan actually did the art for that too, the artist on Grim Space. But yeah, so if I have a horror book, I put horror add-ons. If I have a fantasy book, fantasy add-ons, and so forth, just to kind of keep it thematic with the campaigns. But yeah, this is the first book I have that's kind of an all-ages book. And it's weird. People ask me what's the demographic for the book, and I say it's Star Wars, because what does Star Wars really have a demographic? I feel like Star Wars is everybody likes Star Wars, so it's kind of like if you like Star Wars, you'll kind of dig this book.
I think that's because of what Star Wars became, opposed to it not having a genre or anything. I think it's still sci-fi overall, but I think it's because it became such a big thing for that time that it became more like just streamlined. You know what I mean?
But what's it geared towards? Would you say Star Wars is geared towards children or towards adults? It's like it's
that's
adult,
why I think that's one of the
adult-themed
things that
content,
makes it
but it's
easy.
framed through a kind of a child's lens. So that's kind
It's
of
geared
how
towards action figure sales.
I mean, if you think about it, the first
To make
Star Wars
merchandise.
movie, they have one scene where they kill billions of people in the blink of an eye, but it's done rather unclimactically. I don't know how you would describe it. So even though
it's bloodless.
Yeah.
It's bloodless. You
Bloodless.
don't really see the carnage.
Now, I got a question for you guys. Do you, and I don't mean to get off subject this, but do you think that was done for budgetary concerns or technology concerns at the time? Because now, like, they'd probably show it. Like, I mean, even when they probably show the planet and the people suffering for a second. Do you think that was, or was that a purpose? Was that a choice they made in the script because of that one that put it through a kid's lens?
I don't think that was
I think
budget
so.
reasons. I think George Lucas was very, very smart, and he knew exactly what he wanted to do, and he wanted to pitch it to a certain demographic. He wanted to make it appeal to adults, but at the same time be marketed to children. So I think he knew what he was doing, and I don't think it was. I mean, it maybe budget was for a lot of other stuff, but I think he toned down the violence a lot and the gore, and because he definitely wanted to keep it in all ages, kind of.
I think the thing about Star Wars too is that I think it was definitely geared towards little kids, but I mean there was so many different things about that movie, just as the trilogy as a whole. I mean visually, the way how it was shot, the actors, everything about it just came together to make it really such a bigger thing than what it was. And so I think that's another thing that made that easier for everybody to go check out is because of that. When you have all those things in the pot, you know what I mean? Everybody's going to want to try to get a taste, and they're going to taste something different because there's so much different seasoning that's inside the pot, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we've all created Star Wars when we watch Star Wars and imagine Star Wars.
Right.
I just noticed that's an alien hand he's in over here on this. Just noticed that.
Yeah,
this
that's the Varian cover. So the object was kind of Jack and the Beanstalk. That's the giant holding him up.
This is Grim Space, GRIMM, 2 M's, space number 1, a sci-fi reimagining of classic fairy tales over on Kickstarter. You guys got 17 days left to go, and Frank is willing to ship this all over the world. So that our international audience needs to make him suffer.
I was actually curious because if it was that much to ship to Australia, and I wanted to see how much it would to ship to North Korea, it's $25 to ship a single comic to North Korea. So I don't know if it will arrive when it gets there, but that's how much you would have to pay to send it on its way.
With the and by the way, folks, the link to this is in the description of the video on YouTube and in the chat. Thanks to Pops and Lola putting it in the chat as well. Yeah, with IndieVolt, with Liberty Entertainment Distribution, we get a lot of packages in, and I just got one from Canada that was $77. Wow! Just to ship from Canada to me. I'm in Michigan, so it's like Canada. I can get to Canada in 30 minutes from my home. Really, why is this package cost $77 a ship? It was a heavy package though. It was heavy. I'll give it that. All right, let me bring up
I like the 3210 thing. That was kind of cool.
Yeah.
I like that idea. That was nice. You should
have
maybe
it at
like
3,000.
add that in there. Let people know. That's cool.
Here it is. Well, and it's ticking up as we speak.
Hey guys, I gotta actually jump out. I'm gonna let my partner shill our wares later on tonight. But thanks for having us on. I appreciate it.
Bye,
And,
Steph.
good luck to everybody.
Steph, before you go, where can people find you?
InSymmetryCreations.com is where we have all of our anything that Matt and I are doing collectively. I am on Twitter, SCannonWrites, and Instagram, Steph Cannon Writes, and I'm Steph Cannon on Facebook. Thank you guys for having us on.
Thank you.
Will I see you tomorrow?
Yes.
All right, I'll see you tomorrow.
So we got Boston Metaphysical Society here, the Ghost Ship audio drama. I'm gonna play the video here. Give me 1 second, and we will talk.
Hi, my name is Madeleine Holly-Rosing, and I'm the writer-creator of the steampunk supernatural series, Boston Metaphysical Society. Welcome to our Kickstarter to produce our very first audio drama, The Ghost Ship. Originally a graphic novel, the series is about an ex-Pinkerton detective, a spirit photographer, and a genius scientist who battles supernatural forces in late 1800s Boston. The Ghost Ship takes place during our original 6-issue miniseries. It follows the story of our 3 main characters, Samuel, Caitlin, and Granville, as they investigate a mysterious ghost ship that has sailed into Boston Harbor and is not only killing those who board her, but luring children to their death. The Ghost Ship is an 8-episode standalone story, with each episode being approximately 30 minutes long. To help make The Ghost Ship happen, I brought on the amazing team of Eddie Louise and Chip Michael of the steampunk sci-fi audio drama, Sage and Savant, to handle script editing, audio engineering and direction, as well as the music. But what really made The Ghost Ship come to life was our cast of fabulous voice actors. With Emily S.A. Snyder as Caitlin O'Sullivan, Ryan Philbrook as Samuel Hunter, Martin Davis as Granville T. Woods, and H.B. Gibson as Thomas Edison. The voice tracks for all 8 episodes are complete, and we are currently working on adding the special effects and music. A clip of the audio drama is on our Kickstarter homepage for you to enjoy. Be sure to check out our wide variety of reward tiers, from downloads to flash drives, and pledge today. Thank you in advance for your support.
Sweet.
So yeah, that's what I look like with hair and makeup done.
Madeline, I've been snubbed again. I wasn't
What?
asked to be a part of the voice cast. I wasn't even.
I had a huge casting call went out there.
I wasn't even auditioned.
I went through so many great actors. It was a really tough call.
But I'm cheap. I'm the cheapest actor in town. As in, no one.
Was
paid
that a
me.
fun experience? Was that the first time you had to do something like that?
Yes. I'm officially a producer now, which is not glamorous at all. I had to go through, manage all the casting, bring it down to about 3 to 5 finalists, and then we brought them on to do read-throughs against the other actors before we came to our final decisions. Handled all the contracts, payment, scheduling, all of the really boring stuff. But yeah, we do have, definitely when people have time, jump on and listen to the audio clip we have, because you'll be really impressed. This is a full cast, special effects, and with original music. So it is like your classic radio play.
Sweet.
That's cool.
Yeah. So we've had a lot of fun. It should be, all of the voice tracks are laid for the 8 episodes. So we're working on special effects and music right now.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah, the production team is there. And again, I had to do some voice acting for a show that's on Indie Vault TV, and I did the voice acting like a while ago. And the guy's making it's a cartoon. He's working on the 2nd episode now. It's like it takes so long. Because I'm like, I want to hear myself come out the robot boy. I'm a big kid. Like, I want to be the robot, and he's not letting me be. It's been like 2 years.
I love that flash drive.
That is nice.
Yeah,
awesome.
Sweet.
Yeah, I went through a lot of flash drives, and I like this one because it's wood and it kind of has a ship feel to it. And the Ghost Ship itself is an American clipper ship. So I hired Alejandro Lee to design the clipper ship that's going to be engraved on the flash drive. The cover art is done by my regular graphic artist for the graphic novels, Gwen Tavares. which will be on the cover of the DVD. It'll be a 5-disc set for all 8 episodes. And we are fully funded, and we're heading towards our first stretch goal right now. And for those who are new to Boston Metaphysical, you can also pick up either PDFs or physical copies of the original 6-issue miniseries in trade paperback form, or our 4 sequels that are out, along with the prose, the novel, and the anthology.
Let's go.
That's the new cover for the trade done by Roberta in Granada. And she's currently doing Doctor Who and has done the covers for Witchblade and a bunch of other things. She's fabulous.
It's kind of a dream of mine to do an audio drama, but every time I kind of think of the logistics of doing it, I get too overwhelmed by the actual work that's involved in the price tag of getting it done. So kudos to being funded already and making it all happen.
Yeah, well, I kind of blame this on Eddie Louise because she pretty much determined that I should be doing this. But I said, okay, if I am, you have to help me. So I hired her, and her husband is Chip Michael as my production team. So let's just say I've been learning a lot from them.
Definitely helps to have somebody who knows what they're doing.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't even remotely try it unless I had, a veteran team behind me. But it's fun. The story itself is kind of in between the original 6-issue miniseries. I kind of refer to it as like the case files of the Boston Metaphysical Society. So we can go off and do, some other stories so it doesn't really affect the overall timeline.
How are you releasing them?
Well, right now, everything will go to Kickstarter backers first, either through downloads or the flash drive of the CD. What it eventually lands on, I haven't decided yet because the podcast platforms are very fluid right now. Everyone's like eating everyone else or buying them up or something. So I will wait until we're done before I make that decision.
You got 16 days left.
Yes.
But let me see. Yeah, so $10,000 to go. You're past that. Way past that. What were we at? $11,681. 253 backers. I think we get to 300. What do you think, Erik?
Yeah, I think so.
300 back.
You guys out there in the audience, you know what to do. Give these projects the Indie Volt bump.
Yeah.
See something you like, snag it.
We have some audio dramas on Indie Volt Radio, and they play it at tournament time throughout the week, and our listenership is pretty high for them. People tune in for them. So.
Yeah, and what's nice is that since the episodes are each around 30 minutes long, that's a perfect time for listening when you're either doing your cardio at the gym or you're walking your dog or anything like that. So
yeah,
it's kind of nice. But
Boston.
Yeah, we've had a lot of fun.
Boston Metaphysical Society, the Ghost Ship audio drama. So I mean, if you're a completist, you got to get it now, and it's affordable. It's affordable because if you look at those tiers. $5 for the first episode. Digital reward. Look, you guys can't say you can't afford it. You can't. It's impossible.
And then, yeah, for $22, you can get a digital download of all 8.
There you go. And then you can also get, don't forget that flash drive. And then there's copies of the books you can get as well.
Yeah.
All in this campaign. Go over and check it out. You got 16 days. 16. Could have sworn it said 17 a little while ago. You have 16 days to go over there to Kickstarter and pick this up. Boston Metaphysical Society, the Ghost Ship audio drama. Go check it out. The link is in the description of the video. And I'm trying this new Erik, I don't know if you can notice I've been doing these radio courses, talking like a DJ. It's not working for me at all. It's throwing my whole cadence off of my voice. It's really bizarre. And,
you just gotta be yourself, man.
Yeah, I don't like this whole because you got to be
version of yourself that works at least.
yeah. That version, the version my dog thinks I am.
That's a good one. Be who
Yeah.
your dog thinks you are.
That's right. Let me see here. Let me look at this because I've got a ton of campaigns up. But before we do that, I did want to say, if you guys are looking to ship your comics out, and you should be, because you have to fulfill those books, make sure that you use Gemini mailers and get yourself a 10% discount on them by using coupon code VOLT10. That's VOLT10, VOLT10. It'll get you 10% off your order of Gemini mailers. I was talking to someone the other day that said they save $40 every order because of one code. So I thank them for that.
Hey, you're not gonna get a code like this anywhere else either.
No, yeah. So far, we're one of the few that have one. The only one that has one right now. Watch somebody run and go get one. I want one. Just Randy. Well, I don't know. It's gonna suck. That's right. Special. Speaking of voice work, Tracy Morgan on final season of Squidbillies. You know what? I didn't watch that yet. I didn't watch the final season.
I didn't even know it was still going on.
Yeah, it's me.
All right, let me see here. What do I have? Oops, gotta close up the ones that I've already brought up. All right, who's got?
Can't remember the last time I looked at Adult Swim. Actually, damn.
Tracy Morgan seems like the right guy for that job, though, right? Definitely. Yeah. He's totally a Squidbilly. What did he play in the show? I need to know. I'll look it up.
Ben couldn't be here with us tonight. He has a medical emergency, but did want to show his campaign, The Blonde Assassin comic book. I recognize that art. That's Jason Doobie. Let me hit play on this video. Those appear to be werewolves. And you guys know how I feel about werewolves. Anyway, 9 days left to go.
Do you like werewolves?
Oh, they're stuff of nightmares.
I don't think we broke the streak yet. There's always been a werewolf reference. For how long now?
Yeah,
weeks. This one just snuck up on you.
Yeah, I didn't even.
Yeah, it was all boobs up until it was dangerous.
Yeah,
that's kind of like it's our style.
Yeah,
they lure you in with boobs.
Yeah,
to get you.
Comes your demise.
But I mean, it works though, you know. So yeah.
That's the Blonde Assassin number 2.
Yeah, no, boobs sell comic books. This will fun. Sure.
And it interesting thing about it looks like me. I know it's not, but it's me. Look, I'm making an appearance.
Yeah, somebody needs to put the right hat on that dude.
Yeah, he doesn't have the right hat. Wow, this right here. This here is this the first? It's gonna be a Steph Wilson cover with Jason Doobie interiors. It's this book is gonna make a lot of young folks men.
Steamy.
I don't have any more information on it, but we're gonna get Ben on at some point so he can tell us a bit about it. He doesn't have many days left on this campaign, though. What are you at? 5, I think it's at. So yeah, 9 days left for the Blonde Assassin comic book. The blonde sexy spy fights werewolf assassins. Werewolf assassins. See, they're not even just regular werewolves. These werewolves have a mission statement. You know, like could you imagine,
They
like,
have a payroll and everything.
yeah, it's like, you know,
They've been
Getting
Do they
trained.
have a union? I need to know that.
you know,
You
ninja
train them like a
werewolves.
dog, like with a bell, like how to assassinate people.
No, they're probably very like smart. Like, you know, after they finish killing you, you know, I could have did that much quicker. You know, you made a lot of noise, Jeffrey.
It's
We need to get in now.
Pavlov's assassin werewolf. Werewolf assassin.
Pavlov's angels. But
Guys,
the werewolves.
you can go over there and back that. He's got digital versions, physical versions, all the versions you can shake a stick at. Go check it out over on Kickstarter. Now, I can look at what else do I have here? I know this one. All right, let's see here. This one. Now, this one looks fun. I saw this one and I said, now this can't come from the twisted mind of Matt Knowles. He's already started laughing. This can't. It's impossible because it looks absolutely adorable.
Well,
Tell us about Misfits Clubhouse.
So Steph and I, we are known for a lot of things. We're known for steampunk. We're known for sci-fi. We're known for medieval fantasy. We're known for death metal. We're known for twinning at shows. One of the things that we are not known for is doing family-friendly, all-ages comics.
Mhm.
And one of our really good friends, Richard Rivera, who is the writer of Stabity Bunny on Scout Comics, he was just, you know what, I really think you guys would do good at producing something like this just because of what your personalities are. And so we actually wrote a short for Misfits Clubhouse that is called I Don't Want Any Asparagus, and it has appeared in Scoot Frontiers magazine, which is actually out on Scout Comics. And the reception that happened over the summer for it was such that we're like, you know what, we need to get the first full-length issue of Misfits Clubhouse out there into the ether. And so this is what you have for this campaign. Misfits Clubhouse is about 4 neighborhood kids, and if you look at the picture that's right there, this is there's 4 kids in there, but one of them's a ferret, one of them's a sloth. And why are they a ferret and a sloth? Because we said so. You've got Fairy, Stig, Sloth, and then you've also got Miki. That's the 4 that are across there. The 2 adventures that are in this issue are Pinball Madness and Dress Up Mess Up. The way that we like to angle it is, if you look at the top line there, it says, if Gravity Falls, Wreck-It Ralph and the Fairly Odd Parents were neighbors on a cul-de-sac, the Misfits Clubhouse will be right next door. If you think about the term all ages, when it comes to comics, a lot of people misconstrue that and they think, oh, all ages, this must mean that it's the Blues Clues. It's if you're older than 5 years old, it's not for me. And we try to say, if you're sitting on your couch and you're flipping through the channels and Toy Story comes on or Wreck-It Ralph comes on, you're probably going to stop and you're probably going to watch it. And you're probably going to enjoy it no matter if you're 8 years old or if you're 80 years old. And that's what Misfits Clubhouse is. As adults, we're always trying to take the things that are going on in life and we're trying to like, hey, calm down, Varian. It's not that big of a deal. Don't blow it out of proportion. But with Misfits Clubhouse, it's the other way around. We want to take the smallest things and these kids just blow it out of proportion in such a grand way. Their imagination is such that they blur the lines of fantasy and reality in ways they may not even understand yet. You know, they might be changing the reality around them just because they imagine so hard and so intensely. So like we said, the first 2 stories in here are Pinball Madness and Dress Up Mess Up. Pinball Madness, ironically, is one where they can't even go out there to their clubhouse where they normally play because there's a lightning storm happening outside, and they're making a big deal about the fact that they can't go out there. So one of the kids' dad says, hey, do you think your friends might want to see the collectibles I have in the garage? Sure, they go out there and they're looking at baseball cards and having some fun. And one of them realizes there's a classic old pinball machine out there. And somehow they get transported into the pinball machine, and you see one of the images there from the main cover. You see an alien that is inside a pinball that's chasing after them, and that's on this alien planet. And we kind of go from there.
That's great.
I like that. The kid's going to need that, but I'll enjoy it. But I'll buy it for the kid. Under the idea that it's for him, then you don't need this book in your mouth.
And that's exactly how we want people to take a look at it. You know, there's we all reminisce about times that are past, and we all want to go back and relive our childhood. And we want to make sure that there's something for the kids that are out there, but there's also something for the adults that can say, I remember when I had my clubhouse in the backyard, or I remember playing the pinball machines, or, one of the stories, Dress Up, Mess Up, is very timely because we just had Halloween. And, a lot of the kids are excited to be able to go out there and be involved in Halloween, but one of them is, not it. And they're trying to convince him. And the thing is, they're going to be able to convince him before everything is, all the festivities have taken place. One of the good things about that story is you do have opportunity to campaign to get drawn in. And if anybody has ever seen one of our normal campaigns, there's a lot of opportunities to get drawn in, and we do a lot of fun stuff. And just think, if it's a Halloween story, that we're going to do you up good and really, really poke some fun at you for being involved in the story. So, pick it if you dare. As you see, we have 4 days left in the campaign. We've gone very straightforward with this campaign. Again, you see there's no video on this campaign, and part of the reason for that is that our normal campaigns are so big, so blown out. We have, custom leather work, custom woodwork. We just got finished with a campaign where we had a comic, we had a CD, so I could very understand the insanity that Madeleine just went through when it came to producing a CD and producing content at the same time. We did a custom splatter vinyl that we're still waiting on right now, just because it takes 6 to 8 months for those things to come in. Custom music. I play a lot of music, produce the metal albums. We actually had one of the musicians on the album die 11 days before, or 11 days after he recorded his tracks, and just before our campaign started. So with this one, we're like, what? We're just going to put it out there. Going to be very simple, very to the point, and just let people, be able to imagine what Misfits Clubhouse is, instead of us having to, beat them over the head with our videos and whatnot, because we were kind of, we needed to do something that was a little more fun and a little more straightforward after the last campaign.
I think that I like the look of the book. It's I'm gonna have to back it. And you have 4 days left to go, everyone. When you go over here, Misfits MISFITZ Clubhouse #1. Let the shenanigans begin. 4 days left, 78 backers. He's past his goal, but can always go higher. And just so you folks know, in the tiers, he's absolutely right. Normally they have like really robust tiers. They kept it very simple.
Yeah, we have four different covers for it. We have 2 from our main artist, Raheel Mohsen. We have the Pinball Madness cover, which is called Alien Guard. Then he's also got one called To the Moon, which is them in their wagon. We also have an awesome cover by Seda Wolf, who is a teen phenom. She actually wrote her first comic at 13 years old, signed her first contract at 15, and has already put out a graphic novel. We did a show over the summer with, we did AwesomeCon in DC, and she was there. We became friends with her and her family. And we thought that her art style for Soulstream was going to be perfect for a variant cover for this. And she did a mashup, the Soulstream style, with our kids, and it's called Time Warp because the kids are kind of teenage her cover. There's 2 of the characters in here. We got Miki and Stig. Miki is always going to let you know how she feels. She's going to overblow every situation. Like we said, the first story that's in Scoot Frontiers, which is available in the campaign as well in physical form, is called I Don't Want Any Asparagus. And she talks about her mom is making asparagus and she doesn't want it. And she goes through these big histrionics about how much she doesn't like asparagus and what she doesn't, if the asparagus factory was on fire, she wouldn't put it out. If she was a pirate, she'd make it walk the plank and throw it overboard. If she was an athlete, she would blow through the line and she would explode the asparagus all over the place. She just doesn't want anything to do with asparagus, and her friends have to try and bring her back down off the ledge, so to speak. She's the one that's going to blow every situation out of proportion in an emotional way. Stig is kind of the backbone of the group, but he's always going to find himself some mischief as well because he's a little kid. So little kids are always going to find some mischief. If you scroll down a little bit, we talk about the other 2 characters, which are Fairy and Sloth. Fairy is obviously a ferret, and he thinks that he's the coolest one in the group. And everybody's kind of known that person that thinks they're really, really cool, but they're kind of just a little bit off and a little bit silly. But he's always the one that is thinking he's the cool guy of the bunch. And then you've got a sloth who, his name's Sloth. We thought it'd be hilarious that he's just a sloth and doesn't even get a name. His name is Sloth. He's kind of the breakout character. We have a lot of big plans for him. Here's one of him in that we had at one of our steampunk shows. That we actually have some little goggles that are his size. That you may see some Slothy merch out there in the future. That because he's kind of the breakout character. He's the one that doesn't have a lot of confidence. He has a lot of intellect. The only thing he's confident in is his bowl cut. So he loves his bowl cut. He thinks that that's super fly, and then he gives some he imparts some knowledge out there at some people.
And there's their clubhouse. There's Pinball Madness you were telling us about.
So there's a couple pages from Pinball Madness. The first page you see there is them freaking out because they don't get to go outside and play in their clubhouse. The next page you see that there's an intergalactic space worm that's about to swallow pinballs, and you get to figure out how the heck they go from being in Miki's house looking at the clubhouse to getting swallowed by an intergalactic space worm. So we had a lot of fun with that story. One of the great things is our artist Raheel Mosin is a kid just like Steph and I are, and he has some wild ideas. And one of the great things is, as far as we know, he's never played pinball before. So we had to give him a baseline education. He's in India. That's just not a thing there. And we had to give him some baseline education as to what the parts are that make a pinball machine and what the things are, flippers and bumpers and back glass and play tables. And seeing him interpret what he would think a pinball machine would be and be fun. His idea to have the intergalactic space worm in there, it was great.
It's weird. Something you don't think you're going to have to work on telling someone how pinball machines work. But yeah.
So there's the 4 covers. We've done about 3 of them. The 4th one was done by Richard Fairgray, who is a very well-known kids book artist from New Zealand that actually goes back and forth now between Canada and Hollywood. He had the idea to do the Down the Drain cover, which is the 4th cover there, the cover D. And it's a play on words. When pinball, you don't want your pinball to go down the drain. And so that's him with our characters sending them all down the drain with the pinball. We do have the super sweet sticker sheet. Everybody likes some stickers. Kids love stickers. So we made sure we had the super sweet sticker sheet. And we're always known for doing crazy stuff in our campaigns. And we're like, what can we do that is kid-centric for this campaign? And if you scroll down just a little bit, you see that one of the things we offer is some socks. So you actually Misfits in this one. Instead of it being a shirt, instead of it being a leather dragon mask, which are not really something that really works for this campaign, we decided to do some silly socks. Everybody likes the socks. Add-ons for this campaign, which we've actually found people that have really appreciated this. We always try to make sure that our other items are involved in the campaign somehow, because we want to make sure if you're brand new and you're just coming across what we do, and you're like, oh crap, you guys do metal CDs? We actually had people that have been like, yeah, I got a Misfits Clubhouse issue and I picked up one of your metal CDs. Collectors, they want to get those things. So we want to make sure you have the opportunity to do that. Even if it's not really on brand for what Misfits Clubhouse is, we want to make sure that they can get stuff that is on brand with who Steph and I are.
I like the Raheel always draws who he works with. It's pretty cool.
We told Raheel to make sure that he made us. We always twin at shows. I mean, you can probably tell that Steph and I, once you put us in the same clothes, you just can't tell us apart. So we said, hey, do it up. Just make sure we're twinned. And now we have to find some purple paisley and mustard yellow clothes to wear to some shows so we can actually have versions of ourselves, pop off the pages and be at shows. So he's given us a
Willy
challenge.
Wonka factory is all.
He has given us a challenge.
Looks good. I'm going to put this on the list as well, and everyone else should. Indie Vote Radio right now, 92,000 areas.
Yeah, 92,000 out there. That's amazing. And hey, we do have digital tiers for you guys. We know there's a lot of people that are in Indie Vault that are all over the world. We'll ship to you, but we also know you want to get your digital tiers. We've got digital tiers for this issue. We have digital tiers that have got all of our books, our trade paperbacks. And if you're somebody that's like, I want the music and the trade paperbacks, and I also want to get some Misfits Clubhouse, there's tiers out there for you as well.
Shipping in January 2022. So you guys won't have to wait that long for, but you got 4 days to make the decision. Get over there, check out Misfits. That's MISFITZ Clubhouse #1 over on Kickstarter from Symmetry Productions. You guys, that's a. I don't know if I can even spell that. Yeah, I can. Okay. Can I spell in Symmetry? It depends on how late it is. It's late. Let me look at the next campaign here, which is Mr. Dwayne. You've got. Where did it go? Why is it not up there? Lola, you did this to me. Somehow you figured out how to sabotage my nice work area. I had everything set up. Then you. No, I know why I did it.
Swells.
I got it. It's because everything else has been on Kickstarter tonight.
Oh no, Indiegogo.
Indiegogo campaign was way at the bottom. I'm gonna play the video here.
Oh, Kenny is lightning. Oh man. Seen something I gotta fix on that. But yeah, that is my little short and sweet video. I didn't want to make it too long like I did the other one for the Kickstarter. I figured the Indiegogo would be a little shorter and sweet.
So now we actually reviewed issue 1.
Yeah, you viewed issue 1.
Yep.
Way long ago. I since then I actually changed a lot though. I added a few more things to both issues, artwork wise, not necessarily pages, but just fix some tweaks to things that I did, some mistakes. Well, not really mistakes, just things I could have added. So I decided to add some things instead of just going straight into issue 3, which I'm working on now, along with 2 other stories. But yeah, basically the story is about the main character. His name is Michael Vash. He is a normal college quarterback that finds out from his mother that he has a legacy line of werewolves within him. Now, it's up to him to believe that what she's saying is true or not, because although he loves his mother kind of has a very mysterious past when she first came into the town. And because of it, the townspeople had dubbed his mom the town crazy woman. So when she tells him the truth about what truly lies within him, he's really unsure about what to believe or not. You find out what happens at the end of the issue. I know you've seen at the beginning of mostly of the video that you see that's in black and white. The first issue of Nightfall Michael's Awakening, it is truly in black and white, and it slowly goes into color later into the issue, and it really just goes along with what's actually going on with the story. So as you're reading it, you'll understand the reasons why it's like that. But in issue 2, it's in full color. Here you see him now. That's him with his team, the Stampede. Me, I like to throw Easter eggs in my stories. I like to kind of give people a little bit of an explanation of my personality, writing-wise and art well. And some things I like to show is like where I get my inspiration from stories. So one of my favorite animes as a kid, or not a kid, but a little younger, was an anime called Trigun.
Mm-hmm.
And the main character in Trigun, his name was Vash.
Vash
His nickname
Stampede,
was
yeah.
Vash Stampede.
Yeah.
So the first thing I wanted to throw in there was that the character, his last name is Vash, and his football team is the Stampede.
That's
Yeah.
great.
So there's a little insert there where the announcer actually says, "Can Vash and the Stampede win this game?"
Yeah.
So it's like paying a little homage to some things that I like.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I'm a huge football fan. I actually was a quarterback when I was younger. The number 3 is actually my brother's birthday. He's not my blood brother. He's my childhood friend. So, you know, the count that he calls 310 is actually his birthday. So that was my way of paying homage to my brother and thanking him for being a part of the team and the company. So yeah, that's one of my favorite pages, that one there, when he's actually throwing it across. It went through a couple variations, but I love the way I came out. I actually recently did something new with something I added with it, with a little bit of a poster or print, if you can call it that, where it's showing like the evolution of Michael Vash. So it shows him with his football team in his jersey, and it also shows him when he turns for the first time into his Wolfman form. Because I wanted to also, like I say, some of the things that I do inside the stories, you know, I always want to pay homage to things that I enjoy. And one of the things that I really enjoyed as a kid was a very old classic Wolfman movie. It was black and white. And so when he turns for the first time, he actually turns into his Wolfman form and not full werewolf form. Because in order for you to actually turn into your full lichen form, you actually have to have something that is built on emotion. It could be any type of emotion. It could be anger, you know, happiness, sadness, whatever have you. But you have to have it built on emotion because it triggers something within yourself. Basically, your lichen form or your true form is something that can only happen if you have a legacy line. A legacy line is basically a person that is full-blooded lichen or werewolf. But there are people that are half-breeds. Basically, half-breeds are people that, as you can guess, are half-breeds. They are not full-blooded werewolves. They actually were turned by either a person that had a legacy line or just another half-breed themselves. So
I
they
see
can
you got
only
your
turn.
you got your prints here.
Yes, those actually no. That there is when you choose the side. That's actually not the print. The print is some of the other things that I showed you in the video, and that they're actually in the perks too. But this is something special where I actually get to draw you alongside, because some people actually enjoy being part of the villain team. So you actually can choose between Team Lucius, which is actually Michael Vash's grandfather. And he is actually the main villain in the story. So you can actually be drawn aside with him and his team, or you can actually be a part of the good guys and go with Team Michael. And whatever one you choose, we actually draw it to you, and either we can send it to you digitally, and you can get it printed yourself, or we'll print it to you and send it to you by 12 by 17.
I've often said that I like to think that I'd be a good guy if, you know, I were ever like get the superpowers. I like to think I'd be a good guy. At least that's the way it would start. That was always my intention. And
Actually,
then,
when we did the Kickstarter, there was a few people that actually wanted to be a part of Team Lucius. Actually, it was more Team Lucius than it was Team Michael.
well, see, I say that, and then there's like, yeah, remember when Varian was a good guy? Remember when we could it was before that thing with the Dairy Queen that time? that's what that's what everybody would call the Great Dairy Queen incident.
Yeah.
Um,
Only
yeah.
one
Yeah, you know who else thinks they'd be a good guy? The
Team
bad
Michael,
guys.
Yeah.
See? Yeah, there's
this,
a lot of people that like being bad guys. So, you know, we wanted to give them the option for whatever one you wanted to choose, and that's what we do.
so the Awakening, it's next month.
What?
This book it's due next month, is it? I was
No,
looking at
it's
the
already
shipping date. Oh, I mean, issue 2 is that? Okay, so yeah, so are you shipping like in the middle of shipping right now? Or are you? Go ahead. I'm sorry, I cut you off. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, you asking me what issues are available now?
Well, no, like because I see issue 2. It says shipping December. Some of the shirts are shipping December 2021.
Right, we have all of our stuff already ready in our inventory, so
okay,
we're already ready to ship it out as soon as Indiegogo is over. If it is funded, because right now we're stuck at 50. So
okay.
I think all the people that saw us at Kickstarter really kind of I guess all our fans waits for the Kickstarter, and Indiegogo is not so much. I mean, we kind of wanted to see if there was more people that might have missed out. You know, we wanted to give more people a chance to actually get on board, because, you know, people say there are two different types of fan bases. There's the Indiegogo fan base and there's the Kickstarter fan base.
Yeah.
So, you know, we wanted to touch on both. You know, we were really successful on the Kickstarter, so we wanted to also show some love to the Indiegogo fans, but they're not showing as much love to us, but that's okay. You know what I mean?
Well, we'll see if we can get them. See if we can get him over there, folks. Go check out Nightfall, NIGHTFALL, Michael's Awakening, issue number 1 and 2. Shipping ridiculously soon. You know, obviously not going to ship.
We're not even charging you for shipping for the copies.
Yeah. Obviously not going to ship until the campaign is finished, but you know, he's making sure that you guys are.
We already got you ready.
Yeah.
Anytime you're ready, we got you.
They ready, hand in hand.
Beautiful.
That's what I like to see. And when he does ship, he'll be shipping Gemini mailers. Isn't that right, Dwayne?
Absolutely. You already know. Vote 10. Let's do it.
And finally, one of the something else I want to look at is, again, I've often wanted to have Zak on the show, and he's got his book Walls. But Zak, you're also known for your poetry.
Yeah, probably more than the comic book.
Yeah, so that's what I brought.
Basically, what I went to college for.
Yeah.
Oh. Where did you find this? I don't even use that thing anymore because they make you. It used to just be a document dump for all my stuff before there was a cloud, and now they make you, like, if you want to post new material, go comment on other poets. I don't know if you've ever done that before, but poets are the worst, and commenting on poetry is terrible. And I don't encourage that you visit this page, read, or pay attention to my poetry or any other poetry. The poetry is canceled. The new poetry is hip hop. You're allowed to listen to hip hop. If you're a poet, you have to do poetry to a beat, or else you can't do it anymore. It's just not. It doesn't happen. It's a thing of the past. If you do poetry, it's as an anachronism. It's a stylistic choice.
You know, yeah.
Says Zak, predominantly a poet. Hi.
Well, so you don't like this page here anymore, then? Should I take this down? Do you have another one you want me to send me to, or?
No, I don't have any pages. If you want to contact me, which you should, you can look in a mirror and say my name 5 times. Or knock on the back of a dresser, but I'm not going to tell you which dresser, so figure it out. It's one of them. It's not far. It's not far. Might not be in your house, though. So first knock, before you knock on dressers, knock on doors. Ask. That's my only advice. If you want to get a hold of me, ask people. Ask Varian.
Yeah.
He'll know. Yeah.
He's,
and eventually I'll get a real web presence. I just don't want to do any of that stuff. I write the stories and rhyme words, but I don't market anything. I don't want to. It seems, I don't know. I'm just bad at it. And so I won't.
At Comic-Con, you seem to do well, though. You are personable at Comic-Con. You mentioned earlier that you weren't, but I see you talking to people all the time. So I mean, it's just
no, I am. That's what I'm saying. I am personable. I sarcastically said I wasn't.
I think that we need to just maybe get you. We're gonna have to get you to a couple different shows, maybe outside of Michigan. You just moved further upstate. How are you liking it up there?
Yeah.
I know we talked a bit about it. You said you loved it.
It's fantastic. I live in the middle of the woods. I can identify all the different kinds of trees and some different types of mushrooms, and I walk around. I do little to no writing, and I have 2 cats. I cook food for a living. I would like to do this for a living, but you would have to market yourself well. I feel that if you are successful at this, you have a skill set that is just wildly outside of mine. I can't possibly. Somebody else could do that for me. I could hire a person, I suppose. And so that is the next move.
There are people. There are companies that will help you market yourself and help you market your, Kickstarter, Indiegogo campaign, stuff like that. There are companies. Nita and Meredith have Raging.
Yeah, I've been connected with a couple of resources.
Yeah.
If anybody has something similar to that they'd like to recommend to me, then I would like that. As I said, you could contact me through a number of supernatural means, or just hit me up on my Facebook page. You can go on Facebook and contact the Walls Facebook page, which is at The Horror of Solitude, all one word, within the Facebook domain. Thank you.
And Walls, can I pick up a copy of Walls online anywhere?
You can contact me for it. Again, I don't have a way to actually distribute my work. I just don't know. I have a PDF, and I can sell it to you personally.
I want everyone to go check out where we are at our 2-hour mark, but I want to make sure that everyone gets an opportunity to tell where they could be just found. And I used to say stalked, and then someone took it literal and started stalking Lola. So now it is you may contact these people, say how great they are, send them money, copious amounts of praise, like ridiculous amounts of praise. We'll start with Zak. Zak, no web presence, but we do have a Facebook.
Yep. Hey, I'll make a web presence eventually, or I'll have somebody make it, and then I'll just ask you to come on here again and announce it at that time. Stay tuned, people. Web presence forthcoming.
He's got a sigil that you need to draw on the wall in blood, and he'll magically walk through the door.
Yeah, just try several esoteric things. Eventually, I'll get back to you.
Carrier pigeons, turtles, something.
Leave a note in somebody's mailbox. They might know me. Best I can tell you.
Madeleine.
Yes.
Where can folks find you and contact you and find your stuff online?
BostonMetaphysicalSociety.com is our website. Facebook, Boston Metaphysical Society Comic. Twitter is M.Holly-Rosing. Instagram is M.Holly and the numeral 1. And of course, Kickstarter, you can just type in Boston Metaphysical, and all of the current and former Kickstarters will pop up. So pretty easy to find.
Cool. I was going to say it like Whitley Gilbert. Dwayne.
Okay, Whitley. You can find me on Facebook, Animation Comics ENT. You can find me on Instagram, same Animation Comics ENT. You can find my personal Facebook. Though if you stalk me too much, I will block you. Dwayne Robinson Jr. You can find me on my website as well, animationcomics.com. You can also find us on Indiegogo at Nightfall, Michael's Awakening 1 and 2.
Good. And Frank Martin, not to be confused with Transport.
Frank looks like he's about to fall asleep.
I am. It's been a very long day. You ever notice snap bracelets are back? Like, these were huge when I was a kid, and now for Halloween, my kids got like 40 of them.
Wow.
Anyway, this is me, at Frank the Writer, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, real easy. FrankTheWriter.com. That's how you can stalk me, and I'm serious. You can stalk me. I'm okay with that. I don't block anybody. I appreciate the attention. Everybody in my household ignores me.
Poor Frank.
Matt.
For right now, the best way to find us for the next 4 days is to go to tinyurl.com/misfits and then the number 1, misfits spelled with a Z. That's going to get you to the Kickstarter campaign. If you want to just see what we're up to otherwise, like Steph said earlier, you want to go to insymmetrycreations.com. That's our main umbrella page. All of our titles, Heirs of Isildur, Tales from Nocturnia, all of our metal music, our metal videos, The movie reviews that Steph has been doing, she just got early access to movies on Netflix and on Disney Plus or Disney Channel, which was awesome. She also does a lot of reviews for Creepy Kingdom. We are on Facebook at /InSim, Twitter at InSim Creations, Instagram InSymmetry Creations. That'll show you all of our live shows, our live appearances, all the stuff that we're doing otherwise. Like we said, the best place to go right now is to that that Kickstarter page. It's only up there for the next 4 days. We'd love to see you all be over there and have some fun with Misfits Clubhouse and laugh. Everybody wants to laugh. Zak Anderson especially. And Frank, you can tell by the way they've been tonight, they both like laughing.
They're both very tired, man.
And you can catch Matt tomorrow on Geekgasm.
Yes.
Matt and Steph will be on Geekgasm tomorrow.
Cool. Dreaded Dinosaur.
You know, you can find me pretty much on all those social medias at Dreaded Dinosaur. You can head over to Webtoon and Tapas and look for Dreaded Dinosaur Man, read it over there. You can buy the Roddy Piper Kilted Avenger comic book. I think Pro Tour Wrestling Tees has a few left. The second printing has come in, and I do believe my publisher has it, so there should be some copies at some upcoming cons. Speaking of which, looking forward to Grand Rapids Comic Con coming up next weekend. Not this coming next weekend, but the weekend after it. And I'll be doing a lovely presentation on how to freaking draw. Looking forward to that one. And then, of course, we'll see you back here on Indie Vault.
That's right. Indie Princess.
I am everywhere, guys. So the best way to track me down, go to Linktree Indie_Princess. All my links are there, including a link to my Kickstarter, which has 9 days left. So go check it out. 18 more dollars, guys, and we unlock the next stretch goal, which is a pin. We can do it.
That's what I'm going to start. That's my next Comic-Con segment. I'm going to start calling artists or creators and like doing a creepy voice on the phone, like how long the Kickstarter ends, like the ring. So like I answer the phone like Dwayne will answer. I'm like 4 days.
If you guys want to check out Lord, the link is in the chat, so you can go check it out there, or just go to my Facebook page and you'll see links all over the place.
Very good. And of course, I'm Varian Grant, KYD_V on Twitter. You can check out Indie Vault all the time on YouTube, our YouTube page. Getting very close to 2,000 subs. When that happens, we're going to give something cool away. 2,000 subs, about to crush that goal. I think we're at 1,940 people last I looked. So maybe by this weekend, or maybe definitely, I think maybe Grand Rapids when we'll end up doing it. We'll end up crossing the $2,000 mark. Listen, if you want to send questions.
That's going to be great.
Oh, yeah. If you want to send your question in, please do so at IndieVoteLive at IndieVote.com. Include IndieVote Live in the subject, and please keep those emails to 90 words or less. And then if you want to listen in on IndieVote Radio, like many people are doing right now, you can do so by downloading the app on Google Play. If you have an iPhone, you can check out Stream or Tune In, type in IndieVote Radio. You can even ask Amazon to play it for you as well. She will do so. There's an off chance that maybe, just maybe, the radio isn't your thing. Well, we got something for that too. We have our own streaming service, Indie Vote TV, which is free on the Roku. Lots of independent content up there, independent movies, some cartoons, and some other stuff coming very, very soon to the network. I'm adding stuff all the time. So definitely check that out. Download it today. And yeah, that is it for us. I will take us out of here.
What about Liberty?
Oh, yes. I forgot about Bell. There it is. Liberty Entertainment Distribution Group. Helping you get your independent comics in stores all over the country. And check us out at ledg.us. That's ledg.us. No ridiculous fees. There's a buyback pledge. Lots of good stuff over there at Liberty. Check it out today. ledg.us.
And one more thing. We gotta play our video for our sponsor so we can make our money.
They're not a sponsor this week.
Oh, okay.
They don't come back. Yeah, they don't come back into.
They don't get a video.
They don't come back until December. Yeah, sucks. I enjoyed that money too. They said they'll come back in December when they run their Christmas special. Yeah, I hate to see what they're gonna. Yeah, It's like that a really big day for that. Thanks, guys, for watching. I'll take us out of here. You guys can hang out if you want. You don't have to leave, right? The show ends, but I'll be taking us off air. Here we go.
Yay! Think about what you've accomplished.
How can you close me up? On what ground?
I'm shocked to find that gambling is going on in here.
You're winning, sir.
Oh, thank you very much. Everybody out.